All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jenna Wood, and I am a registered dietitian here with the Giant Company, so Giant and Martin's. If you are a returning customer from last year, welcome back. If you are new to our classes, welcome. We have kind of revamped some of our classes and our class names. So I wanted to make sure I called that out today as we get started. So if you are returning, you may have remembered our Feature Friday class. This is kind of our new version of that. So behind the brand, we're going to do very similar things to what we did in Feature Friday. We're going to do a very deep dive into a brand or a product, everything you ever could possibly want to know about them, and ways to use their products, and wrap up with a quick recipe. So today for Behind the Brand, our first of 2026, we are talking about Ocean Spray. More specifically, their zero sugar line. Now, I do have a bunch of polls to share today, so I'm going to get started with, I believe, are you familiar with Ocean Spray? I guarantee we're going to get predominantly yes. It's such a well-known brand, but I just wanted to throw that up there to see if how many people are already familiar with them. So we'll leave this up for a moment. I definitely am. I will say as we get into this, I'm not a huge cranberry person, which I love berries just from a nutrition standpoint. And I do like tart foods, but cranberry was not always the one for me in terms of juice. However, one we're going to talk about today, I was blown away by how much I like it. So I'm going to end the poll. We have 98% are familiar with Ocean Spray as a brand, so I'm not shocked by that number at all. And I'll share it for a second. So 98% of you, which is so cool. But I do want to ask, as a follow-up, maybe you've tried some of their other products. Of course, they have other juices. They have whole cranberries, dried cranberries, a lot of other things. But have you tried this line, the zero sugar, that we're gonna do a deeper dive into today? I'll leave this one up. I had not until we were in talks about this line. So there's a bunch of them. So even if you tried one flavor, maybe you want to try another flavor too. I'm going to end this poll, share the results. Uh, we have 26% said yes, they have tried it before. So yeah, some of you have already tried it, which is amazing. But 74% have not. So hopefully we'll encourage you to give it a try. But we are going to keep going. So this, if you looked at our circular or our weekly ad, so this is like that page about it. So the zero sugar ocean spray juices are our dietitian's pick this month. So I thought this was just a really pretty image and just shows all the different flavor varieties that we carry. Now, I'm going to share this super, super quick video. I know the holiday season is over, but I love Bryan Cranston, and I think it was a hilarious choice to pick him for their like holiday promotions. It's 15 seconds long. We're just going to watch it real quick, but hopefully it should play.
Zero sugar, all the flavor.
You guys work out too.
But no cran for you.
Shoot! 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 Is this guy for real?
You go with me.
So Bryan Cranston played Krampus, which if you're unfamiliar, or Krampus, it's a mythical creature around the holiday season for like bad children. When I was in Austria, they have them walking around downtown during the holiday season. So I just thought this was hilarious. All right, let us dive into the brand of Ocean Spray. So one of their taglines, born tart, raised bold. We're going to get into the growing and all of this. So, a little bit about history, not only of cranberries, but ocean spray more specifically. Cranberries are one of the OG, so original fruits that are native to North America. We don't have a ton. There's, a handful with, blueberries and persimmons, one variety of persimmons. But really, cranberries are something that was native here and had been growing already. Now, Ocean Spray, they have been deliciously innovative since 1930. And if you've been with us for a while, you know we recently celebrated our 100th anniversary. And that's a really rare feat for brands to be around for that long and to be as strong as a brand like Ocean Spray is. So, really excited to see, what they have coming up because 2030 will be here before we know it. So, really cool to see that they're almost 100 years old. Now, who helped found this? So, three different people came together: Marcus, John, I have fun last names, Makepeace, and Elizabeth Lee. They were each either a farmer, grower, producer. I believe Elizabeth had her own recipe for cranberry sauce that she was really popular for. But they came together to create the cooperative that is now Ocean Spray. And then very quickly, growers in Wisconsin, Washington, Oregon, of course, Massachusetts is where they're founded. They all came together to be a part of this. And Ocean Spray was the first, excuse me, commercial producer of cranberry juice drinks. So they are also the OG, just like cranberries are to our country. Ah. All right, so what about their purpose? So their values and their foundation for how their teams work together and treat each other is really a part of their cooperative and really how they're a citizen of the planet. When you're growing something, it's really important to recognize that you're a part of the planet. So it's unique to who they are as an agricultural cooperative, and there are a few values that they strive for. The first is a grower mindset. So they, again, as a cooperative, they are farmer owner based, and they really rely on that innovative spirit and heritage through, relying on their confidence, their learning, their focus on the future, which again, you can't be a 100-year-old company almost and not be thinking about the future. Sustainable results. So they're guided by their purpose. They're focused on delivering results for their farmer owners. Integrity above all, so they remain ethical, doing the right thing for those farmer owners, the customers, the consumers, and each other. And inclusive teamwork. So they strive to build a diverse and inclusive team that they recognize is a strength. And they do have some videos on their YouTube channel about this as well. Now, what about their farmers? So we mentioned they are a farmer owner cooperative. So what does that kind of entail? So there are hundreds of families that work together in this farmer owned cooperative that, again, has spanned many generations at this point. And there's a couple statistics from their site. So the average farm acreage is 18 acres. They have over 25% of those farmer owners are in their fourth or greater generation, which is just phenomenal to hear. Because farming is not easy. The average generation count is about 2.5. And they have about 700 family farmers within the cooperative. So that's a lot of cranberries that need to be harvested, both here in North America and then some in South America as well. So you see here a lot of farmers. And they have, it's too much to talk about in a 30-minute class today, but they have so much information about the farmers because, again, they are so crucial to what they do every day. So I do have a link at the bottom, the Our Farmers page, but they do have a feature every month for a different farmer. So the current farmer of the month is Molly Reston. She, on her page, shared they just celebrated their 1-year anniversary of transitioning from that second to the third generation. So she's right kind of in that 2.5 generations that we see as their average. So they really enjoy being a part of Ocean Spray grower owners, and they continue to do everything on their generation long farm. Now, what about harvesting? I have one final poll I want to pull up because I am intrigued to see what people think. So, is this true or false? Cranberries grow in water. What do we think? It seems like we're all over the place, which is what I anticipated. I'm excited to share. So, do they grow in water? And of course, we need to water any plant for it to grow, but what do we think? Are they actually grown in water? So I'm going to end the poll, share the results. So 68% of people say it's true, they grow in water, and 32% say false. Let's see what we think. So what about the harvest? So every fall, which is about mid-September to mid-November in North America and March to May in Chile, this is when cranberries reach their peak color and flavor and they are ready to harvest. So we're actually in that little window of time where there aren't any fresh cranberries being harvested. You probably were very familiar with fresh cranberries in our stores around Thanksgiving, but now we're kind of in that window where they're not ready yet as they've moved down to South America where it's warm. So during these different times, growers are harvesting millions of pounds of cranberries. Now, Many people think that cranberries are grown under or in water. And it does make sense because just like I've shared a bunch of pictures, you often see pictures of them floating in water. But what you're actually seeing is the result of what they refer to as wet harvesting. The bog, where they're grown, is flooded with up to 18 inches of water the night before that they're going to be harvested. And this helps them come off of the vine as they start to churn their harvesting machines. The berries fall off, so it's very kind of gentle. And if you've ever cut open a fresh cranberry, you'll see little pockets where air gets trapped. So they are very buoyant and they float to the top of the water, making them very easy to harvest that way. Of course, this is wet harvesting. You can still dry harvest, as you can see in this historical picture from Ocean Spray, but I believe wet harvesting is pretty common, which is why you see all those pictures of the cranberry bogs. Of course, then they're corralled all together. They're loaded into trucks and shipped off to Ocean Spray to be made into all the products like the Ocean Spray Zero Sugar we're going to talk about that you can find at Giant and Martin's. Couple more before we get into the actual products themselves. So their commitments that they have on their website, and there's one I'm going to really call out because I think it's super important about today's product. But in terms of planet, so they're, as they know, they're stewards of our planet, inherently connected to the lands our cranberry farmers have, and that they want to protect for generations to come. And this one I think is really important too, the product. So they're committed to a portfolio of choice, and that's very key, that provides nutritious, safe, high quality products that are sustainably designed and packaged. Ocean Spray has so many versions and options, which I think from a portfolio, we deserve choice as consumers. And I think that's a really great thing that they have worked on. People, so they put people first, they make investments in their team members, they raise up the communities they serve, they support the livelihoods of their team members and farmers. And then, of course, prosperity. You know, you're not going to be a nearly 100-year-old business if that's not part of it. So they believe that through ethical business practices, they can minimize risk and support the economic resilience of their cooperative. And our last about just kind of their background and who they are as a company. So, Ocean Spray's farmer owners and team members deeply value supporting the local communities where they live and work, which is crucial. So, giving back is part of their culture and passion. They have a community impact fund grant program where they have their Ocean Spray Community Fund. They have, I believe it's annual like grant application time periods, which is closed right now. But they provide resources and funds that help, again, improve the quality of life in their farmer communities. So they are proud to partner with these organizations, which just are for the betterment of their local communities and families, which I think is great. Okay, so this is just another picture of the Ocean Spray Zero Sugar line that we're going to touch on today, and they believe in the power of fiercely refreshing flavor. Now, what are the types of flavors we carry here at the Giant Company? Now, of course, prices, availability are going to vary by date, by store location, by shopping method, but they are, our featured item this month, so they are on special. So for the 64-ounce bottles, we carry four flavors, which I believe is all the flavors. We have the original zero sugar cranberry juice, the mixed berry, the strawberry mango, and the tropical punch. Then in the 10-ounce bottles, which I really like, we have the pink cranberry, which is my favorite, and then the strawberry mango, which I'm going to be using today. You can find these, of course, in the juice aisle. My store had a big display, so certainly look out for them, but definitely throughout the year in the juice aisle. But let us get into the different flavors. Oh, no, this is just kind of some key points about the line itself. So for Ocean Spray Zero Sugar, all beverages, as you would imagine, start with a base of cranberry juice. There's no added sugars. They are sweetened with stevia, which I'll touch on. They're only 5 calories per serving, an 8-ounce serving. They're an excellent source of vitamin C. That was my only one. Okay, so our different flavors, they're going to be pretty similar, but we'll show each of them. So Ocean Spray Zero Sugar Cranberry, again, the original flavor you're thinking of. It does earn 2 guiding stars. For 8 fluid ounces, again, it's 5 calories, very low sodium at 30 milligrams, only 2 carbs. And it is that, excellent source of vitamin C at 18 milligrams or 20% of your daily value. Ingredients, so filtered water with cranberry juice, which we're going to touch on what a concentrate is in a moment. But because it's so low calorie, of course, that is kind of the mix there. Some flavors, things to help keep that tart taste you're used to without as much juice in there to lower the sugar. So things like citric acid, fumaric acid, and ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C. So kind of just to keep that flavor profile we're used to. Again, the stevia leaf extract. So this one has both Reb A and Reb M, which there's different strains, which kind of have different flavor profiles. So even if you've had stevia before, this might be one that is just a little bit more mild on your taste buds. And then, of course, vegetable color, vegetable concentrate as a color. So there's no synthetic color additives either. So I think that's all I want to highlight on this one here. Then we have the mixed berry. So this one says it's 10 calories per cup, and we'll kind of see why in a second. Still very low sodium at 30 milligrams, 18 milligrams again of that vitamin C, two guiding stars. Now, probably I would think the difference in some of the calories might be slightly more cranberry juice. They also have vegetable and fruit juice concentrate a little bit higher up on the ingredient list, again for color, but that could add a slight bit of calories. 10 calories is still very low. And then again, that stevia leaf and vitamin C added there. I love the packaging too. I'm a sucker for good packaging, and I love all the berries you see on there. Looks really nice. Then we have tropical punch. So again, 10 calories, slightly more sodium at 50 milligrams, which would still be low sodium. If low sodium, the threshold is 140. This is still low sodium for sure. Very similar nutrition profile. Otherwise, sometimes a little bit more sodium really helps, and very minutely more sodium, helps with that flavor balance. So if you've ever seen someone add some salt to something that's sweet, it definitely kind of helps just all of those flavors meld together when you're consuming them. So again, just slightly more sodium, and it's slightly higher on the ingredient list you can see here. But this one has carrot juice concentrate as a color, but again, very similar ingredients. You'll see on the bottle and on the nutrition label, it says adds a negligible amount of sugar. Typically, the asterisk is next to like the cranberry juice because there is cranberry juice in there, but it does add a very, very minute amount of sugar. Then we have strawberry mango, which is the flavor I'm using today in our recipe. We have both the 64-ounce bottle and the 10-ounce bottles in this flavor. So this is the only one I believe as of right now. They have both sizes. For an 8-ounce bottle or 8-ounce serving, it's 10 calories. Again, very similar nutrition to the last one with the 50 milligrams of sodium, 2 grams of carbs total. Very similar nutrition profile here. I think the only difference I see is the elderberry concentrate, which is used for color. So again, they're using all natural juices and concentrates to color it because it's going to have a little bit less juice. It would be lighter if they weren't adding a little bit of these concentrates to kind of give you that color that you're used to and expecting. So again, this comes in those two sizes. And then my personal favorite, I've tried, I think, almost all of the flavors so far, is their pink cranberry, which only comes in the 10-ounce bottles. So the 6-pack, which is also on sale this week. 10 calories, 35 milligrams of sodium, 2 grams of carbs, 18 milligrams of vitamin C. Very similar in terms of ingredient profiles, the filtered water, cranberry juice, and I think the only difference is it just says vegetable concentrate for color. It's very light. So I think I have it right here. This one, of course, is going to be much lighter in color than a regular cranberry, but another one that we carry. So in terms of stevia, Ocean Spray does have other lines that are sweetened with other things, but this is a line that they were really calling out that there's zero added sugar and no artificial sweeteners, which of course, people have preferences and choices. And if you don't want to have what's considered artificial sweeteners, stevia is considered a natural sweetener because it comes from a plant. So it comes from the leaves of the stevia plant, which is a native shrub to South America. Stevia sweeteners have no calories. And unlike sugar, they're actually 200 to 350 times sweeter than sugar. So you can use a very, very small amount to get the same level of sweetness that you're looking for. They are considered safe. GRAS, which stands for generally regarded as safe. They've been since 2008, which thinking about how long ago 2008 is now is kind of crazy. Um, but not only are they marked safe by the FDA, they're also marked safe by many other international and, country level regulatory bodies. And they've been marked safe for everyone from children, pregnancy, breastfeeding, adults, everyone. They can be helpful, especially when we're looking for zero sugar products like this for diabetes. So you're looking to not consume a lot of sugars that can affect your blood sugar for weight management, because 5 calorie beverage, definitely easy to fit into your day when you're looking for something sweet, and reducing dental caries. So sugar and sugar containing products, not always really great for our dental health, but stevia has been shown in research to be beneficial for dental health. Of course, you still want to brush your teeth after drinking beverages, but definitely a better option for cavities. And I do have a link here at the bottom left is from the International Food Information Council called IFIC. They are a wealth of knowledge, so that's a great place to look for more information. All right, so in Cran We Trust, how are we going to use Ocean Spray Zero Sugar? Now, I pulled, these are from reviews on their website, our website. You hear me talk all the time. What are some other people saying on their website? And I think some of these are really helpful if you're contemplating, like, well, maybe I don't love stevia and other things, like maybe I'll like it here. So this person says the mixed berry flavor was great, not too sweet, tastes fresh, perfect fruit juice in the morning. Ocean Spray doesn't disappoint. It's hard to find a sugar-free juice that tastes great, and they've mastered it. This is the only juice in my house. My kids love it. Thank you for making a great product. I did like it. So this person kind of talked through how they tasted it. It took me a minute because it was zero sugar and I'm used to everything with sugar. So they are moving from somebody who's drinking a lot of full sugar products to something without. It does have a bit of an aftertaste, which stevia can for some super tasters, and it's stronger than expected. However, after a few glasses, it's really good. So they kind of acclimated their taste buds to it. I've already decided I'm going to get more and will be adding it to my New Year's goals. This person loves that it's zero sugar with no artificial sweeteners. Their dad's diabetic and they try to have sugar-free drinks on hand for him. They'll definitely buy more of this to have at the house. I'm looking forward to trying the berry flavor as well. I enjoy that it's not super sweet like some other fruit juices. And finally, this is an incredible option for those of us who want only natural sweeteners and don't want calories from sugar. Because again, we all have different preferences and choices. For those of you that don't like the taste of stevia, buy the regular juice that's sweetened with sugar or buy the diet, which has sucralose. So again, something that's so amazing about Ocean Spray is they give you all the possible options. For those of us that want to avoid artificial sweeteners and have and like the taste of stevia, this is an incredible option. Please don't ever stop making this. So I thought that was a really great review. Alrighty, so I always try to pull up some FAQs because I think this answers a lot of questions people have. So I try to pull a couple. If you want to hear more of their FAQs or read more of them, the FAQ word here, the underlined, is a link to their FAQ. So are their juices pasteurized? Yes, they pasteurize all their juice products to ensure that they are safe to consume. The heating process eliminates the possibility of harmful bacteria. They say pasteurize on the label, but they say please do still refrigerate them to maintain their freshness after you've opened them. What do the words from concentrate mean? So their products are produced by using juices from concentrate. So we know they have those 2 harvesting periods. At harvest time, the juice from the fruit is concentrated because it's a shorter harvesting window. This removes the water, but then when they're making the juice in the factory, water's added back. So it's really a very similar product. They're just removing water, adding filtered water back. What are natural flavors? So their natural flavors are products that contain flavoring constituents derived from specific plant species that are safe, as was mentioned with the stevia. They only use naturally derived flavors. They say no MSG, which MSG is natural, but they have no MSG, no protein, hydrosylates, or animal product extracts in their Ocean Spray flavorings. And a lot of what the natural flavor here is they're recovering some of the essences that might be lost in that concentration process, and they're adding it back in. Similarly to if you have a probiotic beverage, you pasteurize it, you kill some of those probiotics, you add them back. It's what was already inherently there. You're just adding them back after pasteurization or something. The concentrate might have removed them. Do your bottles contain BPA? So food safety and quality are a huge concern and priority for Ocean Spray. So their plastic juice bottles do not contain BPA and they are recyclable. How do you store them after opening? So they must be capped tightly and refrigerated after opening. They can't say exactly how long they can stay fresh after opening because there's so many variables. But in general, they should be able to be safe in your fridge for about 2 to 3 weeks and be the quality you're expecting. Again, once opened. They have tons of social media. I love a good company that has great social media videos and fun things to learn about them. So I just have a couple linked here: Pinterest, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Lots of recipes on their website. Now, I will say, so I love their recipe database. Now, if you're looking for recipes to use with the juice, this is just something I noticed while looking for recipes. I would add any type of juice that they carry in there. So the zero sugar, the 100% juice blend, the diet cranberry, because you can use the zero sugar in any of those recipes. So it really gives you a broader view of recipes that you can pick from. There's tons of ways to use them. And of course, I think most people are just enjoying them as a, drink on their own, but lots of recipes on their website. Some other ways you can use the Ocean Spray Zero Sugar line, again by itself, mixed with like no sugar added sodas or alternatives or seltzers to kind of make a mocktail, in smoothies, in again mocktails and cocktails, in salad dressings, marinades and sauces, in baked goods. So like using the zero sugar juice as the liquid in a recipe. Stevia actually holds up really well to heat. Used as the liquid for oatmeal or chia pudding. So you saw me make a chia pudding earlier this week. You could use the Ocean Spray Zero Sugar for that. In popsicles and in tea, both ice or hot, which is what I am doing today. So I am making the Ocean Spray Zero Sugar Anytime tea. Very simple recipe. So I don't even have a second camera for this one because I'm just going to show you what I am making. But you are going to do, granted, how much fluid you want is how much you should heat up. So half a cup, I'm going to do almost a full cup of the juice. Heat that up, whether it's in a saucepan, in your microwave, being very careful. I did not do a microwave because I don't want to pour boiling fluid on myself. You're just going to put a tea bag. You could do green tea, black tea, herbal teas, whatever you want. This is your tea. And then just let it steep for however long you like to steep your tea. You can remove the tea bag, add lemon juice, which I really would recommend. And it says, or sweetener if desired. Of course, the goal here is to have less added sugars. So totally whatever you want to add or not add. So let me see. And then just our upcoming classes I have here, but that'll be in the share document. So I do have, let me see. So I'm just going to show you. I am doing, and I already kind of heated it up. So the strawberry mango, which I really like this one. So this is the strawberry mango. I did add some. Oh, yes. So I added some to my pot. You can kind of see a little bit of steam. It's cooled down a little bit. You don't really, it smells really good. You don't need it to come to a boil or anything, just however warm you want your tea to be. So then in my handy dandy giant Martin's mug, I have this is just our Nature's Promise green tea. So I've got a tea bag already in here. And what I love about this pot, it's really not too hot anymore. I'm just going to pour it. Mine has a little lip here. Perfect. And then I'm just going to let that steep for a couple minutes. Maybe while we're answering some questions. I'm the weird person where I kind of just leave the tea bag in there. You're not supposed to, but that's okay. I do have also some fresh lemon. I'm going to squeeze just a little bit of the juice and then kind of, I don't know if it'll stay on the side. Just kind of let it sit there. Beautiful. But as we are wrapping up today, I do just want to show you some of the other bottles. I know this week, I think on Monday, Charlotte used, I think just the OG cranberry in her recipe, the mixed berry. But again, this is kind of what I already drank some. This is what the zero sugar pink cranberry looks like in the little carrying container that they have here. And again, the little bottles are just so, so cute. I really recommend, I really like stevia in like iced cold things. So I'm intrigued to see how I like it in the hot tea. But kind of see, the flavor that you get from different things can really vary if you have it very cold, very hot. So kind of try it different ways to see what your favorite way is. But I want to thank you so, so much for joining me today to learn all about Ocean Spray and their new zero sugar lineup. I have some time for questions, so I'm going to tune it back over to you guys. But thank you so much. Take care.